All right, so I'm gonna go through some tips and some guidelines on how to become a better public speaker. Let's get into it. 1, plan your speech accordingly. Plan your speech. Perfect practice. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, right? So what does that mean? When you're crafting a speech, whether you're doing a sermon, whether you're pitching to investors, for class, for work, doesn't matter, clients, right? Know your audience. If you're talking to the wrong people, you will fall flat on your face, right? You have to cater your presentation, your speech, your talk to the audience you're talking to. Are you talking to executives? Are you talking to college students, right? Find out what moves them, what drives them. What needs do they have? What are you trying to solve, right? And cater to them. So plan accordingly. 2, never read your speech. This one irks me, oh my God, you have no idea, right? Anybody who reads their speech, they just kill their speech. That's kind of like self-sabotage, that's suicide. If you want to become a great public speaker, never ever read your speech. I mean, that's the holy grail right there, right? If you just don't do that, your speaking game goes to the next level like tenfold, straight off the bat, right? You have people who go out there, they have notes, they're reading the speech on their phone, right? Or even worse, a paper, right? Never, ever, ever do that. A second thing is, right, if you're talking and you have a podium, never speak on a podium, right? Why is that, right? It goes down to body language and eye contact, right? Body language is everything, right? The reason I advise never to ever read your speech is because when you're busy doing this, you're not making eye contact with the people you're talking to. Eye contact is so powerful, right? Eye contact is the holy grail to public speaking, right? Write that down. Let me say that again. Eye contact is the holy grail to public speaking, right? So if you're busy looking at your notes like this, doesn't go anywhere, right? You should either create an outline or memorize the notes, right? But I don't really like memorizing things, right? So I would say create an outline, right? And go out there and speak to people and make eye contact, right? Because the other guy who's doing the same speech looking at notes won't be as charismatic, won't be as engaging as the person who's making eye contact with you, looking straight into your soul. That's the power of public speaking, right? And the other reason I say don't talk behind a podium, right? Because there's something called presence in public speaking, right? Presence is the aura you have, the energy you're vibrating at, right? So if you have a podium, you're putting a shield between you, the speaker, and your audience, right? So this is why great public speakers move away from the podium and move closer to their audience, right? Because they're taking away that shield. They're kind of making themselves vulnerable, right? Not only that, they use up the entire stage, right? If you walk around the stage, right, as opposed to staying in one location, it gives you a presence, right? Creates that aura that you own the room. Yeah, so those 2 key things are very vital. That's why I advise you should follow them. 3, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. This is the holy grail of public speaking as well, right? What does that mean? You've probably heard the numbers such as 93% of communication is nonverbal. What does that mean? That means the words I'm saying right now don't mean squat. They don't mean anything at all. Right? It's the nonverbal, my body language, the gestures I'm making, the confidence I'm presenting, the aura, the presence, right? All this is nonverbal communication, right? That's body language. And the other part of the nonverbal communication is tonality. Right? The inflections in your voice, the pitch, right? For example, am I talking very, 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 very fast? Or am I talking very slow to emphasize something in a speech and give that added effect, right? These 2 things combined matter a lot more than the words that you're actually saying, right? This is why politicians are very great public speakers, to a point where they can sell literally anything, right? They can be the worst public speakers out there, right? But because they understand these different things such as nonverbals like body language, you notice the whole time during the speech, I'm gesturing, I'm moving around, right? This keeps you engaged. This keeps you from falling asleep. Right? This is how you don't become a boring speaker, right? But it's not just all over the place type of gesturing, right? It all has a purpose, right? To reinforce. And notice that when I gesture, right, I'm gesturing in an open stance as opposed to a closed stance, right? You never want to be closed off when doing a speech, right? Such as feet together or doing like this, right? People who don't do anything like this, right? When you gesture, you want to present that you're open to the world, right? This is why people say stand feet apart, presents confidence. When you gesture like this, right? You don't really point, right? This is why people do this as opposed to pointing, right? All these different things are different ways to gesture when giving a speech, right? And going back to the principle, right? Only 7% of the words, only 7% of your words actually matter, right? This is why Donald Trump is a great public speaker and salesman, right? People say, oh, he's saying all this stuff. It doesn't matter. He's doing the body language. Same thing with Obama. Yes, we can. Hope, right? Like, anyway, I'll talk about this when I get to emotions as well, right? But for now, just remember that body language is not what you say, it's how you say it. 4, appeal to your audience's emotions and not their logic. One thing, one shameless hack or truth that people don't really know is that people aren't really logical. As a matter of fact, if you're presenting to somebody, and especially if you're trying to persuade them or convince them, cater to their emotions and not their logic. Because people get won over by their emotions, then rationalize and justify it based on their logic, right? I mean, go straight to politics, right? People will say, oh, I love this candidate because of X, Y, and Z. But if you really quizzed them on the candidate's policies, they would totally disagree with the candidate's policies. They just love his public speaking skills, the way he speaks to them, the emotions he elicits out of them. Right? This is what makes him a great public speaker. As a result, he's able to persuade and convince his audience, his demographic, right? Hope, yes we can. I have a dream, right? It's gonna be huge, right? All these different speakers, right? From Trump to Obama to Martin Luther King, right? They're all using public speaking skills. It's not really the logic, right? Especially with Trump, it's not really the logic at all, right? It's all straight emotions, right? He's winning people's emotions. He's speaking to their emotions. He's speaking to them on a totally different wavelength that gets them to buy in.